Hi, this is Danny with DD Fitness, and this is part two of our travels to Kerrville to meet Mario and Force 6. We are now in his manufacturing warehouse, and I wanted to make this as a part two because we had a really good session just talking about all the equipment that he's making and coming out. But I wanted y'all to be able to see what a one-person shop looks like and why you have to understand that a lot of these smaller companies, when they are making productions and putting parts out, or I'm sorry, putting products out for the consumers, it's not always cut and dry and just thinking that it's just a mass production. Mario really actually just has a shop that he works out of here by himself. And reminding people again how long you've been doing this, Mario?
About 2.5, 3 years,
Okay.
somewhere around there.
Yeah, so within 2.5 years, he's developed a lot in his warehouse. I think you mentioned you just got some new equipment not too long ago.
Yeah.
So we're going to show you some of the production, how things work. I want y'all to be able to see the hard work that Mario does to put these products together to give you a quality product, so that way you are happy with these. So first thing we want to talk about, I think we'll go ahead and start. We'll work this way around here, but just to kind of give you a feel of what it looks like around here, this is the entire shop. Mario, you want to tell them about the power in here?
Yeah. So I live in a rural area in Kerrville, Texas. This is where I used to live. We built this shop for our last company that we didn't end up using. And I took this opportunity to manufacture in here. So there's no lights, there was no power in here. And to run the machinery, there wasn't enough amperage. So we had to build the infrastructure and bring in more power, 800 amps technically, uh, to this from the main power, and then pull 600 amps into this building, so we can reserve 200 amps for the house that's here. And the machines are three phase, so we had to get phase converters and change the single phase into three phase so we can operate those. And it's just infrastructure. I don't have concrete driveway out in front. The road's still dirt. I don't have a bathroom in here. Like I said, I don't have lights. I don't have all the power ran. So as I grow the company and manufacture and sell more, I could reinvest into building this out. So eventually I could get employees, because I don't have a bathroom, so I can't get employees yet.
I guess that would be important.
Yeah.
We want to talk about the bathrooms when I came out here, but it wasn't what you think. But anyways, so this is going to be his warehouse. So what we're going to do is we're just going to walk around from one station to the other, and I just want y'all to be able to see what this man does all by himself. So let's go ahead and start, and we'll start over here by the power coating station. All right, so we're going to have a little bit of some problems with the light. We've been trying to get the lighting working, but we have a lot of reflection behind us. But we do apologize if the lighting is a little bit off, but we'll fix that eventually later. But the reason why we're right here is we're going to show you where the powder coating happens first. So Mario's going to go ahead and explain the process for that.
Yeah. So this green thing right here is where I sandblast the parts, which is a tedious, a lot of YouTube watching, listening to, sandblasting parts. And after there, it comes to the spray booth here. And if you follow me over here, so I powder coat the parts in this little booth for now, and then I have an electron gun, which is a professional powder coating gun. And this is where I load up the powder and shoot it with the electron gun and coat it. Then I come back over here and putting it into the oven. Most powders cook at 400 degrees for 10 minutes. So I have to put the parts in here. And then after the parts come in here, I close the door. And then the metal has to reach a 400-degree temperature itself, that metal. And then I can start the 10-minute timer. And after there, it just gets hung up to cool off, and then hold over to what I call the packaging department to assemble everything.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's pretty cool. This is all new for me, the powder coating thing. So it's not rocket science and works really good.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and go over here to where his laser cutter is. And as we go over here, you'll see he has a whole pallet of sheetrock, or I'm sorry, sheet metal. All right, so we have his laser cutter right here. So he's gonna go ahead and explain what happens over here.
So basically, I put in the material I use is called P&O, pickle and oil. They're hot rolled depending on the thickness. And this material has no mill scale on it. So powder coat bonds better to it, as well as I could TIG weld if I need a TIG weld straight to it without grinding the top coat of mill scale because it's not there. So from here, I'll load up sheet metal and then I'll load up the DXF files into the laser cutting computer, and then I'll tell it how many to cut, and it'll create what is called a nest. A nest is just the optimization of how many parts will fit on the sheet metal piece for its current size, as well as orient them to get the best yield of material out of it. And this is a 3K fiber optic laser, which is pretty cool, and it'll cut up to 1/2-inch steel. So yeah, after I cut here, I pick them up and go straight to sanding by hand. I don't have a big machine like I used to have to throw parts into the sander to break the corners, so I have to sit there by hand all day. And
Wow.
yeah,
So that's a lot of work.
oh my God, it's so much work.
Yeah, yeah.
It sucks.
Which is why you want some workers.
I know. I want that machine.
Yeah.
I need another 50 grand to throw the parts in that machine,
There
and
you
I'll
go.
be set.
Yeah, there you go. So he has this over here for all the cuts that he do. And then we're going to go ahead and rotate over here to where he has the bar cutter. Is that what it would be called?
This is a laser tubing cutter. So we load up material in the tubing cutter here. And then if you guys want to come over here, I could show you the laser head over here. So this is the tubing laser head. We feed in the material, up to 20-foot material into the laser tube cutter. And we'll load up the files just like in here, just like the flat plate laser. And it will cut tubing. I haven't used this yet, but I will very, very soon. I'm inching my way to that point, and we could cut square tubing, round tubing, and it'll cut up to 3/8 material, no problem.
And how long can the bars be that's loaded on here?
So bars normally full bars come normally in 20 to 24 to 25 foot ranges, depending on how they process it.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll load up to 20 feet on here.
Okay, nice, nice, nice. All right, and so these would be the first two things, kind of get started and things, and then you got the powder coating over there, and then we're gonna take a look at his bender. Is that what it's called, the bender?
Yeah, the press brake.
Press brake. All right, so like I said, I'm learning all this stuff today, so this is all new to me. So let's go ahead and walk over there and let's take a look at his press brake. All right, so this is loading up right now, but this is the press brake. This thing has a lot of power on it, so I'm just gonna let Mario talk about that.
So this is what's required to bend sheet metal. So this is a 145-pound-ton, 8-foot press brake. Now you need that tonnage to bend certain material thicknesses, and that's all dependent on the lower V die that you use. Each V die that you have, so this is a 35 millimeter V die opening. So I'll use 1/8 inch or 3/16 to bend that. And then 1/4 inch would be bigger V die. So this machine, you load, same thing with the other parts. You load up the STEP files in here, and then it goes through the bending process and then loads up the information to set up the back gauge and the tonnage and all that stuff.
Nice, nice.
More people need to learn about press brakes in the manufacturing world. When it was hard to find employees, I had to train everybody from scratch because a lot of sheet metal places have them, but then nobody gets trained on them.
Okay.
It is a really mundane job. You're just bending metal all day, and it's kind of boring, but it's necessary nonetheless. The world's transitioning to robotic press brake operators for that repetitive stuff over and over and over.
Sure.
So they can do lights out manufacturing and just run at night.
Sure.
So
it's definitely a lot more work for you to do it because you're doing it manually and everything has to be put in place correctly.
Yeah, this is a lot better than what I used to do when I first started with the hydraulic press, and then
Yeah.
like and the thing would go down slow. This is really everything's digital. The tonnage is digital. Everything on here is digital. There's ones that are more manual than this one,
Okay.
but there's also ones that are more digital. Like
Okay.
they will change the dies automatically,
Okay.
and that's just a whole nother level.
Nice. So how much does this speed up your production?
This allows production substantially because before I had to outsource all of it.
Okay.
So I had to have another company cut the parts. I had to have them bend it, and then hopefully I get the part what I designed back. They're normally good, but sometimes it'll be the bend deductions will be a little off.
Sure. Sure.
So the what I mean is each tooling, the lower die and upper die, they are calibrated to the bend radius on sheet metal. So if I change the V to a bigger V or smaller V, the distance from this opening would change.
Okay.
And if I want tight tolerances around a rack, I have to have consistency. But my program that I draw in has to match what their manufacturing capabilities are.
Okay.
So I have to calibrate this machine information and the V dies and all the tooling and what it outputs in real world into my CAD program. So what I draw and what I bend, the blueprints match.
Okay.
So
Nice.
that's where the technical side of manufacturing comes in. And people obviously don't know because they don't manufacture, but those are the details that in the time it takes to manufacture a consistent, repetitive part that meets tolerances day in and day out.
Nice.
So
Nice. So it's nice that you get to control everything now that you're getting more of your machines in house, because now you get to have better quality control of everything.
yeah, I love tight tolerances, and I'll push the limit to borderline not fitting.
Yeah.
Because I don't like slop, but the way the gym world is you have 3-inch racks and 75 millimeter racks. That's thousandths of an inch difference,
Exactly.
which is nominal, but if you have something like my flex arm that's really long,
Mm-hmm.
that nominal gap amount of space is creates a lot of wobble on the long side.
Right.
So
And sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. If you've seen the previous video, you'll see that when we were talking about the J cups and his monolith, they were really hard to get off. I mean, his tolerance is super, super tight. And if you also watch that video, you'll see that Mario has 2 different UH&W settings
Yeah.
for the inside to keep that tolerance for both a true 3-inch rack and the 75 by 75 racks.
yeah.
Nice.
So I do my best. It's not because of the tolerance. A tight tolerance is really hard to replicate and be consistent. You'll see Rogue always sending out. I just saw a post on a Ghost Roller J cups didn't fit, so they sent them out a shim pack.
Okay.
And I don't have the power to create 4 different shim sizes on probabilities.
Sure.
So but I just want to try to get it right the first time.
Nice,
and
nice.
have the option. So
Great, great.
yeah.
All right, so while we are kind of talking as well, I wanted to show you this, what I call controlled chaos of this warehouse. So, Mario, this is where you put all the packaging and stuff together,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Nice, nice. All right, so I'm going to show you a couple of other things that he has over here because, as I mentioned, he does do all his own packaging, shipping. He does his own quality control. And then also, as I said in the previous video, and if I'm not mistaken, you mentioned that you open up all the boxes and do your own quality check for each
Yeah.
and every product that comes in?
Yeah, I do. I have to open up every single one because making things overseas is one of the is a beauty and a beast at the same time. Is obviously I can sell more things if they're manufacturing for me.
Sure.
But at the same time, they're not meeting my quality control in which I want to put out to the world.
Sure.
If I was built a different way, I would find that 100% acceptable and then have more products.
Right.
But
right.
it's just not me. It
Yeah.
just never was. So
Yeah, and that's a really good thing because a lot of companies, and not talking about Mario, but a lot of companies do white label products and they just do drop shipments, and they're not checking anything that comes in. They just get the stuff and they send it out, and that's why you get a lot of people that do complain about qualities of certain products or things being bent, shipping packages, have break tears in the boxes and stuff. And so it's good to know that Mario is trying to control that as much as possible. And then, if there's stuff that's out of his, his means, he does still try to do his very best to get that fixed for the consumers. So.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I started wanting to manufacture, and so I can control that, because it's easier to make the part than it is to fix a part that's ruined.
Nice.
And then rework it to make it sellable.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so we're going to go over here to the next little spot where he does the taps and drills.
Yeah, I tap, drill, weld.
I'm learning a lot. I should know this stuff. My dad did a lot of this stuff, but I mean, yeah. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go over here to the next station that he got over here. All right, so the next station that we're at is the tap and drill location. So this is where he puts all the holes and all the settings in here. So Mario?
Yeah, so this is a tap machine, so all the little threads in every single plate, I have to use the tap. So I sit here and watch more YouTube and veg out some more, and just literally slow and steady every single hole I'll tap, and then I'll use the drill press here, and many of the products I will put a taper into the holes, and I'll taper the holes with this bit that I have. And yeah, it's just more YouTube, more time consuming, and it comes out a better finished product. So like our flat tricep bars, I'll tap the holes in there, so your carabiner isn't being gouged by sharp corners, and it will last longer and not wear out each other.
Yeah, and that's actually, just because you said that, you mentioned sanding down all the edges on everything.
Yes.
And
Yeah, if you want to, I'll show you that. So this is my sanding station here. So I have two, one with the flapper disc,
Okay.
one with the flat. I have a belt here, and I have a round sanding barrel.
Okay.
And they all serve a different purpose at different times, but most of the time I am using a DA sander, they call it. So this is coming off the laser after bent, right? And you can feel that that's not sanded.
Right, yeah.
As opposed to the part you saw earlier was a lot smoother and more textured. So
correct.
All that is done by hand, breaking the corners off. And then this is the part that goes to the top.
Okay.
That's chamfered.
Okay.
And then that gets welded to here. You can see I already sanded there.
Nice.
And that goes on there. And then this, and then these pieces get welded to the bottom here and also get sanded. But that's after laser. You can see that it has to get sanded.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see that, yeah. So you put all the little smooth grooves on there and everything.
Yeah, with that taper.
Oh, yeah, okay. I see what you're saying,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, nice, nice. So just so you can kind of see, if I can get a good shot of it, what he's talking about is he will round these out and make them nice and smooth.
And then this is what the bottom of the laser cutting part comes off of. That has to get sanded.
Let me see if I can get that in there for you. So this is as raw as it's going to be before it gets finalized.
Yeah, because after I sand it, it'll look like what you think is stainless.
Right.
After that, real shiny.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Nice. Awesome. Awesome. And how long? So let me ask you this: out of all the parts, which one's the most boring to do?
Oh my gosh, I can't choose. They're all three of these are the sanding, the tapping, and the tapering is all boring.
Yeah.
All boring.
Which is why you need workers.
Oh my gosh, it's so mundane.
Yeah.
But this is what it looks like before it gets to welding. I don't know if you can see that.
Let me bring the camera over here. See if we can get kind of the pre-production part of it, or production, I should say.
So this is the pieces of the roller J cup, which I'm going to be starting on soon, and it goes into the welding fixture here. The pin's already welded, and it goes through operations. So I weld in the pin first, and after the pin is welded in, I sand all the parts. I'll break off all the corners before these are assembled. I'll put in my tacking fixtures in, and these go in to make sure that all the bolts line up after it's welded. I'll clamp everything. I'll clamp everything up, and then tack weld all the pieces. And then I will go through my welding process on this part and then go back and then sand it once it's all welded, and then sandblast it and go through that powder coating process.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how long, when you get to the point of this point where you have to weld, how long does that particular part take?
These particular parts I haven't made in house yet. These were outsourced.
Okay.
I have a company in Utah.
Okay.
But just sanding alone could add up to like an hour and 20 minutes.
Wow.
And then sandblasting, you have to sit there and sandblast
Yeah.
it, you know?
Right.
Um,
So basically what he's saying is that there is a lot of work that goes into these products that he makes.
Yeah.
So just keep in mind that it's not something that's just as simple as just putting it in a box and selling it. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot of behind the scene productions that you don't see that he
Yeah.
does by himself. So
yeah, after powder and it cools, I have to assemble everything.
Yeah.
So I have to assemble. So these are really nice. I love how they come out in the end. They're a lot of work. That's why they're out of stock.
Okay.
Because these are parts I was prepping to start powder coating.
When are you going to get some more J cups in?
I'm gonna work on them this week. That's my plan for this week, is to work on these and process all the ones over there, tap the holes, and go through this process.
Perfect. Nice. Now, one thing that's very interesting is this man has a lot of money in here, but let me show you where his shipping table is. Is that what you call it, the
it's my
shipping
shipping table.
All right,
It's
so
a
let me show you
pallet.
what it looks like. It's actually really interesting.
This is my assembly station. This is what I use because everything's needs shelving and organization, and it's just more capital to buy that stuff. And this is the most flexibility I can have. The size is perfect. You know, I have things I use constantly. I finally bought a cart, and the tools are on here. They used to be on here.
Nice.
And
No
yeah.
assembly line or nothing. Just everything that's on this table gets put together.
Yeah, I assemble it and ship out products and listen to more YouTube.
There you go.
You think I'd be the smartest man alive? I'll let YouTube.
YouTube got me through a lot of stuff, so I definitely understand. So this is nice though. Yeah. So he used his forklift to use this to lift it up.
Yeah.
I have never seen anyone use a pallet for a shipping table, so this is really kind of cool and different to see. So I definitely love this.
Yeah,
so.
I can optimize the height I need for the product. If the box is big, I'm not that tall, I can lower it.
Yeah. Interesting. And then as you can see over here, he has some more of his packaging. There's a lot of boxes that's out here that's going to be ready for shipping. So in these boxes over here is your...
So these boxes are the 4-bar barbell holder that goes on the wall.
Oh yes, okay, yeah. I couldn't tell what it was from the picture on there.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool because I designed little pieces of steel that hold the bar clamps. On there, so it's really organized pieces.
Nice. And then he has some other stuff over here. I'll take a couple of some B-roll shots so you can just kind of see the, as I mentioned, the control chaos that he has in here. But as I mentioned, Mario is a one-man shop. You can see that he does everything on his own. It's a lot of work for one person to do it. And there's a lot of companies that's not just Mario that does that. I know Cara Meadows, I believe, not too far from him. He does everything out of his gym or his garage. I'm sorry. Yeah. He's a one-man shop. So y'all have to understand that. Even though you see things on websites, and it definitely looks like these companies are, $1 million companies with $1 million production warehouses, they're just small mom and pop shops that are just, small business doing what they need to give you great products. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, Mario does a lot of good stuff. And I haven't really known a lot. I haven't really talked to him a lot, but we do keep in contact here and there and stuff like that. So it was a great honor to actually come out here to meet him and meet his warehouse, to get a walk around with his gym. If you haven't seen some of the stuff that's coming out, this is the part 2 of me being out here at 4-6. So just make sure to watch the first video to kind of see all of the stuff that he has that's coming out or that is out. Also, as I mentioned previously, you can always go to www.46.com to order any of his products, and you can also reach out to him if you want to see if you can get a discount. He doesn't promote it correctly, but he will offer it. I can't say it's going to be all the time, but I think what Mario's doing is a very genuine thing, and I think he's a great company. I have a few of his products that I just love. The Viper. I had his barbell hangers. Everything has always been a good quality. And I really love the fact that he takes the time to check each one of the products to make sure that the quality meets his standards, because there's not a lot of companies that will do that. So Mario, you have anything else you want to let the
No,
consumers
thanks
know?
for coming. It was a far drive.
Oh
I
yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I drove 2.5 hours to come out here. I got up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. It was a very uh, challenging drive on some of the roads out here in the country in Texas, because they're very windy, deers, all that kind of stuff. But it was worth coming out here to spend a day with Mario. And I'm gonna be doing a review on his Viper bar, because I do actually have that. I purchased that sometime last year. It's a great bar. And so I definitely want people to kind of see a little bit more about how good the quality is, because as I mentioned, in my personal opinion, I don't think that there's a better landmine attachment than the Viper that he has. So this is Danny with DD Fitness, and this is Mario with Force 6. Mario, again, it's been a pleasure coming out here to meet you. So thank you so much for
Thank
having
you.
me.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. So again, www.46.com. Go and check him out, and just keep an eye out for some of the newer products that he has coming out, because from what I can see, I think Mario is going to be a force to mess with. 46 force.
Fun.
Y'all have a great day, and thank you for watching.
That's funny.